I'm Deuce.
I'm Ace.
And this is Deuce and Ace, Bro to the Movies, with a review for Loki. Woo! Loki, baby, Disney Plus. So yeah, if you watched the Black Widow review, you see we're back.
Back better than ever.
Back in black.
We've been black. I got a little bit of tan. I've been out getting exercise in the sun, trying to get my heart good. How about you, Deuce?
I was doing some CDL training. So anybody who's trying to get that Class B, make sure you got the verbiage. Properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, or broken. Or if it's rubber, no abrasions, bulges, or cuts.
What?
Shout outs to all my truck drivers. And shout outs to young whippersnapper Texas Toast for holding it down on the last Disney Plus review, because someone over here don't want to wake up. But
Facts, don't want to wake up talk about that trash show, Captain America show.
Young whippersnapper Texas Toast. I don't know what you go by now, so I'm going to say both, but wish you were here on the Disney Plus review. Hold it down in Texas. Can't wait to see you back in the DMV. With that said, Loki. Ace, take it away. Pause. Last video, I was drinking soda. I'm reminded that health is wealth, so I'm now drinking water.
And I am now drinking the soda that Deuce didn't finish drinking. His wife is telling me he doesn't brush his teeth, so...
Loki.
It's a difference.
Loki, man. Loki.
Loki. Yes, this is Plus Loki following the events of Avengers Endgame. We saw Loki as a Tesseract. He disappeared. And this show shows his exploits and what's going on. To me... Excuse me. Sorry. You just gonna drink during my monologue? You good?
I'm good, man. Just choking on water. Worst type of choke there is. Pause.
Loki is the latest show from Disney Plus, the Marvel Disney Plus catalog. If you notice from our reviews, I did not enjoy WandaVision. I wasn't on the review for Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I didn't like it and I didn't have anything to say about it. I will say I enjoyed
talking to this dude 10 minutes prior to this video about what he didn't like, so he had something to say. But
because Deuce kept prodding and poking me, but this one I liked it better than the other ones. But I think that's because I waited for all the episodes to come out so I could just watch it. I didn't have to wait week to week to week to see what's going on. So it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. Like most Marvel properties, if you watched our Black Widow review, it's just dumb superhero stuff. That's it. I mean, I feel no way strong or weak about this movie.
Hey, totally disagree. I was in agreement with him on Black Widow, but Loki, I love Loki, man. This show, just on a, I'm not going to say psychological level, but I'm not even going to say emotional level, because I was more emotionally invested in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I don't know how to describe it, but I just ingested this show. I love
We know you love to ingest things.
But this show, it just, man, it did it for me. Like, I've seen some things on Twitter and heard some complaints about the issue of free will and the TVA, but I could care less about that stuff.
Spoilers, man.
Oh, sorry. Robot us all the way. Like, I love this show, man. I love the love in this show, and I know there's some problems with that. I love the ending. I love the introduction of the next big bad in the MCU. I just...
Spoilers.
Man, I woke up the morning that episode 6 aired and all this stuff, so it's been 2 weeks. If you ain't watched it yet, oh well, man. Like, I love the show. I love Tom Hiddleston's acting. I love the direction. I love the sets. Oh my gosh, I love the score. Can someone make a trap version of the Loki theme if you haven't already? Dog, that score, oh my gosh, like, that score does it for me. And like the variations of the score throughout throughout the series, man, like I can listen to the Loki theme on repeat, and I think the music just made this show such a grandiose entry into the MCU, man. I loved it. I just loved it.
Alright, so Deuce is waxing philosophic over this show for whatever reason. And that's fine. I'm glad you really enjoyed the show. But for me, it was just another run-of-the-mill show of the month that I'm never going to think about again.
wow. For you, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, follow, share at Road to the Movies. But yeah, man. Show's about Loki as he travels through time and he runs into the Time Variance Authority, and they're keeping track of the timeline, and then it's like, who's keeping track of the TVA? That's the non-spoiler breakdown.
That's pretty much the entire show, too, really, isn't it? Not too much more, I mean.
Okay, well, stay tuned after we give these scores in 3, 2, 1, 10.
5. Man, Deuce really enjoyed this one.
I don't know how else to describe it. I love this show. I just did.
All right, Deuce Ace give this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Man, I really wish we can get even numbers. We never have even numbers. It's always a 0.5.
I know.
That's what it is. Spoilers! Man, Sunkiss should really sponsor us. That's 2 videos and we're drinking your product. I would be drinking a Sprite remix, but Coca-Cola, for whatever reason, you stopped it. It was going strong for 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years. But you got rid of
You're going to say 10 different numbers?
Sprite remix. Bring it back. YouTube. Algorithms. Yeah.
Algae Rhythm. Space Jam.
We need Sprite remix back. And we need Loki back. That's why they already had it lined up for a season 2. They knew how good this show was. So here's the thing. It's kind of weird because technically it's a variation of yourself, but that's what makes the Loki and Sylvie love so beautiful, because it's the twist that Loki, even, you know, what Lady Sif said, which I like her coming back, and, you know, shout outs to Jamie Alexander, but you're going to be alone. And so yes, he's still destined to be alone, but then now there's a not reincarnated, but a personified version of himself in the flesh.
You can't personify a person, they're already a person. Personifications for like inanimate objects and stuff that aren't people.
English 101 brought to you by Deuce Ace. But whatever version of himself, so it's like, it's self-love. And it's like, because that's all he could ever love. So it's like now he can have love like everyone else in the form of himself. And to me, it's weird, but it's beautiful, man. I was emotionally attached to that, man.
It's not that deep, fam. Loki's just a narcissist, and he's just in love with himself to that extent. He physically can't love anyone else. He can't even really love himself, and that's why he got betrayed at the end. But, like, oh, so sad. As I was saying to Deuce off camera, this version of Loki was murdering people a week ago in his own weird timeline. I don't care about this mass murdering genocider. Like, oh, I'm so sad Sylvie doesn't like me. Oh, no, I go back to the TVA, they don't remember me. You're a murderer. I do not care about you.
Okay, one, they're outside of time, so when he's seeing the progression of his life and all the stuff that's going on...
They had to speed run his character progression because they had progressed main timeline Loki so far. Like, well, now we can't have him just be bad and no one like him anymore.
And is that not creative?
No, it's like, wow, my mom died. Wow, I died. Guess I'm a good guy now.
Or, wow, one, he never not loved his mom. That's evident in when you see... his mom died.
Yes, we know. But after his mom dies in Thor 2, he still doesn't just become a carbon copy good guy who's out trying to do the right thing for the universe. He still puts his dad in an old folks home and tries to get his brother unable to come back and tries to take over Asgard. So it's not like seeing his mom die because actions would make him like, man, I gotta save the universe.
Yeah, but that's why you saw the whole thing. And I would say it's safe to assume, in reality, not in what's been filmed in previous MCU properties, that he saw his whole life. Who knows what we haven't seen? Who knows what was depicted? And regardless of that, when you get to like the end, where he can see the journey, that this is where I become, that I'm willing to sacrifice myself for my brother and for the greater good. When Thanos, how could that not have an effect on you? If you could, at 10 years old, see your life and then see something change in you, some tragedy, and you sacrifice yourself for me. I'm your brother. I'm Thor. Like, wouldn't that have a profound effect on you in the present? Like, that could change the 2012 Loki not in an instant, but in that time period.
But it was instantaneous.
For us. Because it's a show that only has 6 hours. Kids come in the room. We got to take a break. Got interrupted by a 4-year-old.
Isn't he 5 now?
No, he's definitely 4.
Oh.
Leah's 5.
I don't know the ages of my niece and nephew. So
They're a year apart. He was 5.
well, I thought he was 5. I thought she was 6. I don't know.
That's exactly.
Yeah, so what I was saying, this is a show, 6-hour series, so they're not going to show us watching. Again, we don't even know how old Loki and Thor actually are. They just have this footage from the MCU, so they put it in. But you can imagine that was his life. But regardless, if you saw how you were, say you hated me.
Facts.
And then you saw this transition of you making that sacrifice. Because even in your hate, you still love me. Loki's loved Thor from the beginning. They've had a brotherly relationship. So you see, wow, this happened. That's going to change your heart, man. It's going to be a transformation.
That could be, but it's not going to be the transformation that leads you to becoming the exact same person that you would have been had you lived through that.
I think he's a completely different person. I don't think he's that exact same 2018, 2019 Loki. Because even in Thor 3, he's still, like, mischievous. He's still...
Yeah, and it's weird that for this one, he goes straight to, man, we got to stop the Loki variant. Oh, don't kill King at the end. We got to preserve the sacred timeline. It's just, everything that he does doesn't seem... like not even the character from the Loki that we knew, but also just jumping straight from point A to point Z is like they just, again, like they had to speed run his character progression for us to even enjoy the show, which I didn't.
But I don't understand why that's not like accepted, because again, it's sped run for story's sake, but it's also in your life. We don't live in a world of time travel, or do we? But time doesn't exist. But we don't know what it's like to see our lives. How would my life would be instantly different if I can know the outcome and fates of my children, if I could know the outcome and fates of my parents, or even myself. Your life, your whole, nothing, like, there's nothing else that could change your perspective more than seeing your life play out. If that was an option, I think that would transform you more than whatever transformed them in between Ragnarok and Infinity War.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that. To me, it just felt like a huge leap going from fighting the Avengers, taking over New York, to being the best TVA agent he can be.
That's also relative. The best he's not the best TVA agent per se.
Said he can be.
Yeah, but because the story shapes it that he's the best he can be, because the story is built around other hymns, which I think is a creative thing. He's the best he can be. He's the best there is to accomplish this task because he himself is Loki. Because
no. I mean, like, he's like so gung ho during research and stuff. Like, oh man, this is the only thing that's important to him now.
Because it's all about him. I'm saying, like, you have this introduction to your life played out. You don't want that to happen. How can I change this? How can I, I don't think he's seeking out growth and, building character. That happens to come along the way where he's been bombarded with his destiny. How can I change my destiny? Glorious destiny, all this. And that's the
glorious purpose. Yes.
Glorious purpose. And so I think the perfect picture of that is in Old Man Loki. Like, they're just trying to be Loki.
I like Alligator Loki.
Gator Loki was fire. Gator Loki was fire.
Just Gator rode and rubbed the dude's arm off. I'm like, oh, that's tight.
So I had to rewatch episode 5 because I didn't realize, I think he's called Boastful Loki, but I call him Black Guy Loki, and I didn't realize that he had betrayed them. I was like, why did he just leave the black dude? That's crazy. And then I watched it again. I was like, oh, wow, he set them up. But that first watching, I was like, man, that's messed up. But yeah, actually, I didn't like his Loki. He was kind of weak. And Kid Loki, while he came off as strong and he killed Thor, he too was a little weak. I didn't like him.
I mean, I didn't like most of the Lokis. I just like Alligator Loki because he's an alligator. It's funny.
But yeah, man, that introspection, man, I like that. Because again, it's all about an individual who is obsessed with him, and then this is just different variations of him. So it makes sense that he's trying to figure out. It makes sense that he's inquisitive, that he's researching because he wants to know him. Which brings us to Kang, or excuse me, the one who remains. He who remains. Man, shout out to Jonathan Majors with that acting. Can we at least?
He did his thing.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Would have been. So I'm watching in Loki. I didn't know that Jonathan Majors had been cast as Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3.
Quantumania.
Yeah. So I'm like, who's this black dude up here going, man? And then I'm a conqueror. I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be Kang the Conqueror? Then after the episode, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
But yeah, like that, his acting, man, I love that acting. Jonathan Majors, man, if you ever need to sign me.
Sign you to what? He's an actor.
Whatever.
To his acting guild?
His acting guild, for me to be like his manager.
He's clearly doing okay for himself without you.
Just to play a variant, a fat Kang variant, I'll volunteer.
He doesn't have the power to do that.
He's Jonathan Majors, so.
And you're Jonathan Minors.
But yeah, so he did his acting, and so in this world of variations and variants, we have Loki, who is having his journey with himself, and then we're faced with someone who's gone through that journey for years and millennia. And it's just, to me, it's a nice parallel, because if you live in this world where you're constantly battling yourself and trying to survive yourself and wondering about yourself, you're going to go crazy, like He Who Remains seems to be.
I don't think he's crazy. I mean, what about him seeming crazy? He was quirky, he was, but definitely not crazy.
Not crazy like a psychopath, but it's just like you can see the effects of time travel and variation.
I guess so.
Alright, well, what about the future implications for the MCU that the show laid out, man?
As I said before, man, I'm kind of done with Marvel at this point. I'm probably going to watch the movies because, you know, our viewers, our subscribers want us to view these films. They keep asking me, Ace, please watch this movie. So I'm going to do it for y'all.
Deuce, please just be in my life.
No.
Be the guiding light, the shining star that you are.
No one cares about Deuce. This is the Ace show. Yeah, man, like, it's interesting, you know. So every movie could theoretically have a variant of Kang just as a villain. That's cool, I guess. But it doesn't really do anything for me.
Well, I look at it as a whole other way. You wouldn't have a variant as Kang because we're still in the one universe, the one timeline. So we would see how different Kangs potentially affect the other multiverses.
That assumes that the movies in the future are part of this one timeline. We saw the timeline branch. Eternals could be happening in Earth 823 or whatever. Who knows?
I mean, I personally think what they're doing and what they've set up is a great way to introduce the multiverse to those who have been longing for it and to those who may not understand it. I think this was a great tool. I think this sets up all the stuff that we know is coming up. Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness, whatever, boom, boom, bang. I'm excited. Fing, fan, boom. Let's get it. Shang-Chi, Eternals, Loki Season 2,
this guy just named
Spider-Man.
You said that already.
In fact, I'm going on a whim because I liked Monica Rambeau's characterization that I may be excited for the Marvels too.
Again, dumb superhero stuff. Like, it's fun. When it's fun, you know, you'll see me gushing like, oh man, that joint was tight. But I've never left a Marvel movie like, man, this is a great movie. This is something that I'm going to be thinking about in the future.
Wow.
I say they could be great experiences. They could be, you know, fun family flicks for an hour and a half to 3 hours, depending on the length of the film. But for me, man, I can't watch another Disney Plus show anytime soon.
Well, good thing there's a break before Hawkeye. And
What If comes out in like a month?
But that's totally different. It's a cartoon.
Okay, I'm so done with Marvel properties, man. I'm trying to review some good films, man. Give us some recommendations. Tell us what you want us to review that's not Marvel or Disney related, please.
Or there's some Marvel Disney related stuff too, because we'll hop on it at the Deuce Ace speed of a turtle snail. But yeah, what? I love Loki. I'm not gonna say I love Sylvie. I love what Sylvie represented. I wish she could have been an actor that matched Tom Hiddleston's gravitas. She was a little kind of, yeah, I'm boring, I'm Sylvie.
I think Tom Hiddleston's Loki is kind of boring too, so I'm not gonna comment on that.
Wow, no TH fans in the house, am I right?
Also, I would say I like Tom Hiddleston and
Owen Wilson's banter.
Yeah, I wish they had more scenes together. They were like together for like the first 2 episodes, and they weren't together until like the last episode.
But yeah, I mean, this was a very dialogue heavy show, very conceptual, like concept heavy show.
That's what some show means.
Intellectual. Maybe that's why. That's why you don't.
A child could grasp this. It's not that hard.
I'm a child of God.
Okay.
Okay. Love Loki. If you love us, follow us on social media. Bro to the Movies. Please subscribe. Deuce Ace Bro to the Movies. You know, just trying to choo to them 100 subs. You know, the train's coming in, so let's get it, man.
When trains are outdated technology, dog.
Maglev, come on, DMV.
Stop the maglev.
Nah, come on, we need a Maglev. We need
Stop
high-powered trains, man.
No.
But we'll talk about that off camera. I'm Deuce.
I'm Ace.
And this has been Deuce and Ace, Bro to the Movies. Out.
Hey, Deuce and Ace here. Thanks again for sticking around for the whole video.
We're so glad you did. We hope you enjoyed the movie reviews, the trailer reactions, the funny bros, and the quality content. If you do, be sure to subscribe, check out these videos, and be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bro to the Movies.
Deuce and Ace,